That's awesome.
Dollar dollar bill, y'all. Like this is, I felt like what made that very,
Yeah.
very popular.
I love it.
Okay.
I like, hey, I mean, come on, man. How can you not like this?
This is when people were excited about rap and hip hop. When we go back to even this song, he says it. He's like, Mom bounced on old man. He's like, his father's not there. And he starts telling us the story of why he started selling drugs and stuff like that.
Totally. Yeah,
And
I
so,
can hear
like,
that. Look, I don't care who you are. If you're a man, you have a connection to your dad, whether it's a bad connection or a good connection. We all have that heart with our fathers. Sure.
What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40s. I go by the name Black Pegasus, and today I got a very special guest in the house, the one and only Professor of Rock. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you, brother. It's been awesome, dude.
Yeah, we've been having a good time. Yo, that last reaction, he put me on to Kenny Loggins. This is it, bruh. And Nas sampled it too, so it's like it's kind of wild how music interchanges and all these things happen. But you got a
little surprise in there too.
Oh yeah,
little Michael McDonald in there.
Anyways, yeah,
there's my Michael McDonald impersonation.
We're going crazy today, but we had a conversation, and you know, I saw him on his channel wearing a De La Soul a t-shirt, and we've been talking about Wu-Tang Clan because they're getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah.
And some of your audience been mentioning it. Some are probably like, yo, it's cool. Some people might give some pushback. But I asked you, have you even heard Wu-Tang's music? And you were just kind of like, no.
I'm sure I've heard it. I've never, I don't know that I've ever, I don't know if I have heard it. I have friends that love Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
But we just never, I don't know. I missed like kind of part of my hip hop rap is it's not a genre I listen to a lot, but I did listen to Eminem, you know, and I did listen to Ice Cube, love Ice Cube, listen to Eazy-E and NWA in high school, and I'm trying to think of some other rappers. Listen to. I've heard.
You were telling me you were a little bit of a Tribe guy. You liked Tribe?
Yes.
I saw the De La Soul t-shirt.
I was more kind of R&B meets hip hop.
Okay.
Like PM Dawn's one of my favorite of all time. Like actually, if you were to ask me my favorite like 10 or 15 albums ever, PM Dawn the Bliss album is in my top 15.
You got to put me on. I'm not like avid PM Dawn.
Prince B was just a talent, man. I think I honestly think he was a
crazy.
genius.
He about to put me on.
Yeah,
let's go.
So I love R&B. Like I listen, R&B is one of 70s, 80s R&B is probably right up there with new wave and classic rock and hard rock. My favorite genre. Like I love Michael Jackson and Prince and Janet and I like Boys to Men. You know, I think that those harmonies and I love Earth, Wind and Fire, and I love all the Motown's one of my. Let's be honest, Motown's kind of its own genre too.
Yeah,
but I love Motown. One of my favorites. I love Four Tops and Supremes. Everything that Berry Gordy was doing.
I
in
love the
Motown.
Supremes.
Marvin Gaye is one of my favorite singers of all time. So I've always been into soul and R&B. But I just never really got into rap beyond that, hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, I have a similar story with rock and country. That's why I do reactions to them.
Yeah.
And it's really fun. But I think that's a perfect segue. Let's just put you in front of the Wu-Tang
Let's do it.
This is a first-time reaction to Cream, Wu-Tang Clan with the Professor of Rock, you guys.
Okay.
Like, share, comment, subscribe if you are here for that. And welcome back to the channel.
They tease him a lot, black peas on the spot. Welcome back, 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 welcome back. 40.
You guys, you know there's a membership on this channel. No big deal. There's no obligation. I just let you guys know It's a way to help me keep the lights on and all that good stuff, but you get access to the reactions early, and I try to update it every day, and there's a catalog in there for you waiting. But like I said, no obligation. Just thank you for your support, and let's get things rolling. Also, this is a reaction video. People are coming here for the conversation, the commentary, the breakdown. I'm going to push pause, interrupt this song. So if you're not into that, this ain't the place for you. But that also makes this isn't a substitute for the original. Please go support Wu-Tang Clan on their channel. I'm watching this from the official Wu-Tang Clan channel.
Love it.
Go watch it over there, stream their music, all that good stuff. Support the original because that's important. And let's rock, you guys. We're checking out, he's checking out Cream for the first time ever.
The New York Times side.
Okay, you've heard this? Or
I think I don't know that I've ever like sat down and listened to like, but $100 bill, y'all. I know that.
Dollar bill,
oh,
yeah. Well, that's also a common thing said in the rap space. Like,
okay,
but this is the song that set that off.
Yeah.
So this is one of the most iconic hip hop songs in that regard. But like even saying dollar bill, y'all. Like this is, I felt like what made that very popular.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
I grew up on the crime side, the New York Times side. Staying alive was no job, had second hands. Moms bounced on old man. So then we moved to Shaolin Land, a young youth. You're rocking the gold tooth, low goose. Only way I begin to G-York was drug loot. And let's start it like this, son. Rolling with this one and that one, pulling out gats for fun. But it was just a dream for the teen who was a fiend. Started smoking wools at 16 and running up in gates and doing hits for high stakes. Making my way on fire skates. No question I was speed for cracks and weed. The combination made my eyes bleed. No question I would flow off and try to get the dough off. Sticking up right boys on board. My life got no better. Same damn low sweater. Times is rough and tough like leather. Figured out I went the wrong route. So I got with a sick tight click and went all out. Catching keys from cross seas, rolling in MPVs. Every week we made 40 G's. Yo, brothers, respect mine. I ain't gonna tech now. Bow, move from the gate now.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream get the money. Dollar bill, yo. It's been 22 months.
I love it.
Okay.
I like. Hey, I mean, come on, man. How can you not like this?
Yeah. So
It's good stuff.
This is one of the, I would say, one of the most iconic hip hop tracks. This was their breakthrough.
Yeah.
So when they dropped Enter the 36 Chambers, their first single, I think, was Protect Your Neck. And then they did Method Man because they thought Method Man, the way they did. So,
isn't Method Man
yeah, METHOD, man.
He's a rapper, right?
Yeah, so he's doing the hook.
So he's in the
Wu-Tang
Bastard and Method Man.
In this song? Or what are you asking? They're both in Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay, so tell me all the members of Wu-Tang.
Okay, let's get it.
Okay, let's do it.
So how do we? The RZA, the Jizza Genius.
That's awesome.
You God, Raekwon, Ghostface Killah.
Oh, Ghostface Killah. I've heard it.
Inspector Deck, Master Killer.
I've heard Master.
Method Man, Old Dirty Bastard, and then you
opened for Old Dirty Bastard, right?
Yes, right before he passed, the day before he passed away
awesome.
in the mountains of Colorado, and then Capadonna is a member, but it's kind of weird. His lore is like he kind of showed up on the second album in a sense, but Capadonna is a part of Wu-Tang as well. But the official 9 members, I think I just mentioned them, and so what you're hearing on this song in the hook is. Cash rules everything around me is Method Man. Okay. But that crazy singing in the background is ODB. Like, oh, that's what he's known for. This wild, like he's the drunken monk. And so
I love it.
I don't know if you know the lore of Wu-Tang, but they were one of the first and only, like they infused kung fu samples into their music.
Oh, okay.
And so there's this lore there, and they turned Staten Island, where they're from, into Shaolin.
Shaolin.
So this concept of like Shaolin, the Wu-Tang Clan, there's this kung fu lore to their whole demographic, but they brought this street music, but this was the third single, and this is the one that just kind of catapulted them out
and
of
this came out
hemisphere.
in what year?
I think so. This was on the Enter the Wu-Tang album in 93, but the single went crazy in 94. I
Okay.
think January of 94, this just started running amok.
Yeah, I remember in high school, I had buddies that love Wu-Tang, and I just never, I was too busy listening to, honestly, I was in the new wave, you know,
Okay.
mostly
Yep.
in high school and grunge. But you know, when I was listening away from everybody, I was listening to Billy Joel and Bruce Springsteen, Phil Collins and stuff. So I missed out, man.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. I like it.
And when we talked about some of the lightning in the bottle for them, this song, so the song's Cream, but it's the acronym Cash Rules Everything
Rules
Around Me.
everything around me.
And so everything just kind of came together, and then the production with the RZA, these pianos and the
Oh,
melodic.
yeah.
They did it with this one. But
Cream, the Cream I knew about was the Prince song that came out
Oh, okay.
probably around that same time, right? Cream, get on top. It's kind of a dirty song, as Prince is known for. But yeah, all right, cool.
All right, cool. So the first verse was Raekwon,
Okay.
and now we're going into the second verse.
Okay.
Around me, Cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around
This
me.
guy-
Cream, get the
That's Method Man.
That's Method Man. Okay.
money, dollar bill, yo.
It's been 22 long, hard years, I'm still struggling. Survival got me bugging, but I'm alive on arrival. I beat back the shape of the streets to stay awake to the ways of the world.
This is-
Deep.
This is Inspect the Deck.
Inspect the deck.
Yep.
Okay.
Actually, I'm just gonna rock it.
2 long, hard years, I'm still struggling. Survival got me bugging, but I'm alive on arrival. I beat back the shape of the streets to stay awake to the ways of the world. Deep. I'm in with the dream, with plans to make cream was fail. I went to jail at the age of 15, a young buck selling drugs and such, who never had much, trying to get a clutch on what I could not touch. The court played me short and I face incarceration. Pacing, no one upstates my destination. Handcuffed in back of a bus, 40 of us. Life as a shorty shouldn't be so rough. But as the world turned, I learned life was hell. Living in the world no different from a cell. Every day I escape from Jake's giving chase, selling bass, smoking bones in the staircase. Though I don't know why I chose to smoke cess. I guess that's the time when I'm not depressed, but I'm still depressed. And I ask, what's your work? Ready to give up, so I seek the old earth, who explain working hard may help you maintain. To learn to overcome the heartaches and pain. You got stick up kids, corrupt cops, and crack rocks and stray shots. All in the block that stays hot. Leave it up to me while I be living proof. To kick the truth to the young black youth. When shorties running wild, smoking cess, drinking beer, and ain't trying to hear what I'm kicking in his ear. Neglected for now, but yo, it got to be accepted. That what? The life is hectic.
Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, dollar bill, yo.
That's he saying $100 bill, y'all, and dollar bill.
He's just saying dollar bill.
Oh, I
y'all.
thought he was saying $100 bill, y'all.
Yeah, no, I'm
Holy
pretty sure
shit.
he's just been.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, they're right. Cash. It's true, man. They know.
You know what's
They
really
know.
interesting about Wu-Tang Clan? So they were groundbreaking in a lot of ways, but people don't really know that they were the first hip hop group where they all had individual record deals. So after this, they all had individual record deals that actually were pretty significant.
Pretty
Where they they all, and you got to think, a 9-member group, and then there were
Jeez.
subsidiaries that blew up as well. Also, they don't get enough credit for being the first people to start clothing lines. People have merchandise, but Wu Wear was like the clothing line. They were the
So Kanye kind of followed in their footsteps. a bit.
Wu-Tang should get the credit for this encompassing marketing infrastructure that was created for artists. That like Wu Wear and a lot of the things they did like first, and other people, you know, Jay-Z had Rockaware and stuff like that. But
Right.
I really believe Wu-Tang Clan should have got their credit for that. But beyond that, if you listen to Wu-Tang Clan,
Yeah.
on the surface, I could see someone being like, oh, this is, you know, maybe dangerous or whatever, how people interpret things. But the one thing that they infused in their music was black consciousness, because they're all, I believe they're all a part of the 5% Nation of Islam. And so they have these streaming messages. Like if you really listen, they're even like this, you know, he starts kind of reflecting on like how life is tough, and I want to kick the truth to the youth, but they don't want to hear it, type of thing. And when you really examine their music, I just think this was so ahead of its time with the way it was delivered, the timing, and just, it was just so unique. Like the energy, they did have this rock energy. When you're talking about Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, like that's one of their biggest songs. I didn't know if to put you in front of this or that, but there's so much like with the cursing and stuff. I just wanted to kind of put you, because this is the one that really like shifted the dynamic for them in their career from what I know, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll do reactions where I'm like, yo, there's a familiarity from a hook, but I'm like, it was background noise is what I called it. And today we put it to the forefront and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Hey, Wu-Tang Clan got the Professor of Rock bobbing his head. Let's get it.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo. Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar, dollar bill, yo.
So what's he got in his mouth right there?
Honestly, I think
is that like a toothbrush or a?
I think it's like a popsicle stick.
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's what it looked like.
That's cool.
You know what's really funny?
Well, they've definitely got one of the most iconic logos.
Yes, one of the most iconic logos in music for the most part. Too.
Yeah. Wu-Tang. What does that stand for?
Wu-Tang
like
Clan.
Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah.
So this is from kung fu movies.
Yeah.
So they used to watch these Wu-Tang movies. Like, so I have a bunch of VHS. They're literally just Wu-Tang movies, and they just were like, yo, so I'm guessing in New York, it was like, you know how they have reruns and they just play kung fu flicks, and they're like, yo, it inspired them to utilize that. And then
right on.
So like where they're from, Staten Island is Shaolin, and they just ran with the whole thing. Even some of the members, like Ghostface Killah, is a character in one of the Wu-Tang movies. What I think it's the Mystery of Chess Boxing. I forget.
So they got movies?
No, like they came up with some of their lore from 80s kung fu flicks. Yeah. And so like that it's not their movies, it's like what they were making in Hong Kong, and then they utilized some of those names. The other thing, as I'm watching,
Ghostface Killah is from
that name Ghostface Killah is from at least I heard it in a kung fu flick.
Very cool.
This reminds me, this grimy thing that you're like, this grimy theme and feel. This was when hip hop was a little more unadulterated, raw and fun, and where they didn't compromise their gritty street sound to make hits. And this was when grimy hip hop would go platinum. And this is changed. Like now, so when we talked about the manufacturing of, like, even when Billy Corgan was like, oh, they took out rock with this, that, and the other. But I just argue corporations kind of watered down music in general. But this is like a more, this is when people were excited about rap and hip hop, because you just got this raw, unfiltered thing. And now it's just a little, I don't know, it's just something else.
Yeah. I mean, I remember one moment, you have probably 50 moments, maybe more, maybe less, in your life where you hear a song and you see the world differently after. Like, it changes your worldview, it changes your life. It's like I call it the Beatles on Ed Sullivan moment, where the whole world is different. Maybe your world was black and white and it turned into Technicolor. A lot of people talk about when Nirvana, It Smells Like Teen Spirit hit and things like that. Those big moments. Mm-hmm. And I've had, like I said, probably. I should do a show on that. The 50 moments, or the, maybe top 10 by 10. But one of those moments for me that is like rap, or is It Was a Good Day.
Ooh, Ice Cube. Yeah.
When I heard that and I saw that video, like, kid in Blackfoot, Idaho, realizing, that what was, Ice Cube's perspective of just, the cops ran right past him, didn't even give, didn't give a look in his direction. Nobody he knows got killed today. like this, everything he's talking about, he goes through his entire day. Some things are like, you know, I hooked up with a girl I've been wanting to, Kim, you know, I've been wanting to get with all, you know, and
this is not on my bingo card.
You know, and then, you know, and then playing basketball with his boys and everything, and watching Yo MTV Raps. I mean, there are just the little things like that, but then there's the big things like not a jacker in sight, and you're like, dude, I've been kind of sheltered, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I live in Blackfoot, Idaho, and it's awesome and everything. And there are tough times. Like I saw my dad going through his stuff with owning his own business because he was a painting contractor, and people wouldn't pay him. And if people didn't pay him, then you know it was tough to get by. It was tough to. So I saw the worry on my dad's face, and I learned about never wanting to have that burden that he was having.
The struggle,
the struggle that you know. And that's why when you say. In your last video, you were saying that, you know, men are hated and stuff like that. Like, look, I grew up watching my dad and watching him sacrificing for me. In fact, I've had some really cool conversations with the rock stars and songwriters about this. One was with Sting about, you know, his dad worked the ships, you know, built ships. He was a shipbuilder, and both their dads were, you know, blue collar guys, and watching them worry and struggle. And Sting made a comment, yeah, you know, they had to worry and struggle and go through this stuff so that you and I could be rock stars and DJs and interviewers and shit.
Yeah.
And it was a really neat moment to have that connection with him, where because look, I don't care who you are. If you're a man, you have a connection to your dad, whether it's a bad connection or a good connection. We all have that heart with our fathers.
Sure.
And I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but hearing Ice Cube and the struggles and the things, like, it made me realize, and it made me search outside myself. And everybody has different problems in different ways,
Yes.
you know, in different cultures. And it's interesting because, you know, I never thought that I'd talk about white privilege and stuff like that. But for you know, you only know what the four walls around you.
Yeah,
are.
your
you
environment.
only know the
You only know
experience
what you
that
know.
you have growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, because that's a big buzzword right now, white privilege and all that kind of stuff. I can't speak to that, but what I can speak to, because I just try to be grateful for everything that I have. But I just, growing up, you know, when I heard It Was a Good Day, that was something that opened my eyes to a whole other world. But again, I bring up my dad and his struggles because I knew what it was like to see my dad be kind of that silent warrior,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
not complain about things. And he didn't want to put that worry on us.
Mhm.
So I never really knew, but I knew because I kind of found out by accident, on accident, that there were some bills that weren't able to be paid because he hadn't been paid. And I heard him on a phone call once, which I wasn't supposed to hear. And he was talking to a guy in the desperation of, I really need to get paid. I need to be able to, you know, in essence, feed my family. So, so there were touchstones and things like that, but that was a song. I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but that was a song that opened my eyes to, you know, It Was a Good Day.
Yeah, and so with what you're saying, the way I kind of process it, it opened your eyes to the way, like, there's a different life for other people.
Yes.
But you could relate to it through your struggle, but you also saw, hey, there's a lot more to there.
Yes.
Like, not a jacker.
I don't have
in
to
sight,
worry
like,
about a jacker in Blackfoot, Idaho,
Yeah.
right? You know, I don't have to worry about a helicopter or a cop pulling you or that kind of thing. But what I loved about what Ice Cube did with that is he told everything. Like, he
Yes.
was telling this whole day, the maybe the details that were like, yeah, I hooked up with this. It was like giving you the highs and lows and the what am I trying to see? Maybe the more important things and less important things, the details of life.
and what made his day a good day.
Yeah. And I thought it was just, I love that song. To this day, I just think it showed it, you know, my son loves that song too, but I think Ice Cube, I love Ice Cube.
Yeah.
I just think I've seen interviews with him, and I think that what they did, NWA and Eazy-E and all those, and Dr. Dre, and just, that's a cool biopic.
Yeah.
And of course you've seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And with what you're saying too, these parallels. Right now we're kind of talking about the West Coast, and then we're watching the East Coast. But the parallel in hip hop are these great stories, and also opening the window to a place you've never been, and that's what made hip hop so special in the '90s. When we go back to even this song, he says it. He's like, "Mom bounced on old man." So now he's like, his father's not there, and he starts telling us the story of why he started selling drugs and stuff like that.
Totally, yeah,
and
I
so
can hear
like
that.
it connects with the same storyline of Today Was a Good Day, and some of the best hip hop records are these moments, like even Biggie with Juicy, like letting you see the window, opening the window to their actual lifestyle. And I think people appreciated it because it was new at that time. And I think a lot of America didn't realize like what was going on in the inner city, and stuff like that. And it really opened that
totally.
So,
I we all have our experience of what we know, especially in our younger years, right? You only know. It's funny. One of the things that has opened my mind to a lot of things. When I was a kid, you look at like athletes and celebrities and rock stars and rappers, whoever it is, you're looking up to, you're seeing on the big stage, you're seeing on MTV, you're seeing on, in movies. They're larger than life. Like they're here and you're here. And I always had this perspective. And then when later when I met them, and I realized, as Christopher Walken says in that Saturday Night Live, I'm just like you. I put my pants on one leg at a time. I don't do a very good Christopher Walken.
He does a good MJ, though.
Except when I put on my pants, I make good records, But yeah, they're just like us in the sense. But that perception of that was like, oh, they're here and I'm here, and there's no, like, that's the glitter and then you see the truth of some of the stuff of what Hollywood really is and those things, and hearing this and
they removed that barrier.
Yes.
I'm in the projects with them, kicking it right now.
Totally.
And that's what was really fun about hip hop. It was like the punk rock of its moment. Like every genre gets their moment, and to like reclassify and redesignate things. I actually think it's super cool that they're getting inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because as I have seen people where I'm like, I don't really think you deserve it, and I do think some of the rock OGs who haven't been inducted should. If we were gonna induct someone from the hip hop community, it should be Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah. So. I felt the same way. Like I know. I don't know their music, but I know that culturally,
the impact they had was extraordinary.
I'm trying to think. Is NWA in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
I don't know. I know Outkast is and Tribe.
Yeah, Tribe is. Yeah, I knew that. Is NWA should definitely be in there. I think they they're trying to remember.
I don't really follow all that stuff like that. I'm actually doing this because you told me it. I was like, oh, that's tight. Let's get it.
Remember 2 Live Crew, dude?
Yeah, I do the show with them.
Really?
Yeah, but Luke wasn't there, and they got banned in Fort Collins when I did the show. Like they did the X-rated show.
I totally remember when Banned in the USA came out, man. Oh, that was it. I was in junior high.
Yeah.
And it was like, if you played that, you're getting kicked out, man.
Yeah.
Like it was, this is the Satanic Panic. Same
was
thing
on hip hop.
In hip hop,
they were crushing
right?
the CDs.
Totally.
Who was it? I remember the name. Cause oh man, I can't think of it right now. Cause Eminem would mention her in lyrics, but in the 2000s, they're like stomping on CDs, like they're protesting.
Yeah,
rap.
NWA. I remember that. That was contraband. Man. It was, check this cassette out. It was me and my friends passing cassettes. So. Again, I know NWA well. I know Ice Cube well, because I was really into that. But I never listened to Wu-Tang. But man, I like it.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, we got to put the Professor of Rock in front of Wu-Tang Clan's Cream video for the first time ever. Actually, let him sit down and pay attention to the Wu, who's getting introduced to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And
dollar bill, y'all. I always said $100. Why did I think that?
Well, there's other songs where they do $100 bill. There's dollar bill, y'all. I mean, I felt like that's a reference in hip hop. But you guys, if you're familiar with Wu-Tang, then you're familiar with the Sue. So let's get Professor of Rock. Are you ready? On the count of 3, we're gonna go Sue and be out of here. 1, 2, 3. Sue. All right, you guys.
Thank you for being some man.
That was cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
40 years down the road, back again. FUQ boys.
40.